Welcome to the second editorial review of Fizzy's Wacky World of Wrestling. I'm 14 Fitzpatrick, and for today's episode, Doomsday has happened! Anyway, this is the second editorial edition of this podcast, where I talk about what has gone on since I last reviewed an episode of the wrestling product that I was reviewing at the time. In this case, it's the WWE, and the last review I did was the April 7th edition of my podcast, which was the post-WrestleMania Raw. So, what wonderful, happy, good things have happened since I last did that episode? There was so much hope, so much potential, so many good things were happening, and it's all come to crashing down. And it definitely hurts inside. But, let's get on with this episode. And we'll start with the first iceberg that fell, Daniel Bryan's neck injury. Daniel Bryan won the WWE World Heavyweight Championship off of Randy Orton and successfully defeated both Triple H and the Potato Batista in 2 separate matches. Then he got the shiny thing, and then he got into a feud with Kane and his plastic nightlight of terror. Yep, Kane is employing his traditional B-movie horror tactics to try and terrify Daniel Bryan. He didn't count on Daniel Bryan having exceptional forklift driving skills and the ability to change a spark plug, however. Unlike his last victim, which was Zack Ryder. At least he got some great hang time on the wheelchair after he flew off the stage. I really did like the Kane John Cena feud. That was really a good feud, for me at least. So this one was disappointing. First you have Brie breaking 50 million champagne glasses every single time that she screams. Kane not allowed to do promos, which he is really, really good at. And then, of course, Daniel Bryan running away from the enemy after he smacked him with his car. Santa Claus wants a word with you, Daniel. Yes, Santa Claus got run over by Alberto Del Rio's rich car. The last time any cars were involved in WWE programming. Anyway, that didn't work on Kane, and unfortunately for Bryan, it got worse. Apparently everybody has a curse when feuding with Kane for some reason, because the hits kept coming. He got the neck injury, which is not good. He had a minor neck procedure done on him. He will not wrestle on the Payback pay-per-view. He'll probably miss Battleground. He might be ready for Money in the Bank, but they're not really sure. So what is happened is that now they are potentially going to have to strip him of the WWE World Heavyweight title, which is either a good thing or a bad thing. The good thing, it ended the Kane feud early. The bad thing is, who's going to take the title? They haven't built anybody up to take the title away from Bryan yet. They didn't think they'd have to so soon. They were actually going to give him a long title reign. So now, at the Payback pay-per-view, Daniel Bryan has 3 choices. Under orders from the Demon of the Deep, Stephanie McMahon, he has, like I said, 3 choices. Option A, he surrenders the WWE title and gets mocked and laughed at by Stephanie McMahon. Option B, he keeps the WWE title, but he loses Brie Bella because Brie gets fired by the Demon's Stephanie McMahon. Or option C, which I dub the Brock Smash plan. Brock smashes the deranged lawn gnome, he takes the shiny thing, Brock becomes champion. Brock loses title at SummerSlam, or wins title at SummerSlam from Daniel Bryan in a rematch. That's option C to me. Because they have currently 3 choices. They could either have Daniel Bryan admit defeat, They can either have Daniel Bryan have his love of his life get fired, or Brock smash. I'm going to go with option C, personally. And it's an option nobody really has talked about yet. But really, they should go with that one. If, to make matters worse, everything else has fallen apart. Antonio Cesaro's run as, well, I should say Cesaro, he has gotten rid of his first name for some reason, has paired up with Paul Heyman, who apparently has contracted some horrible repeating disease, like a broken record. I'm going to call it broken record-itis. He keeps repeating over and over and over again that Brock Lesnar beat The Undertaker at WrestleMania 30. Which, yeah, Paul, I know that happened, but you don't need to keep repeating this over and over and over and over and over and over again, you know. I'm really getting worried, man. You're kind of, you know, did you accidentally touch some possessed, cursed record player? Because he is, like I said, he hasn't stopped talking about it. Then we have the only, real solidly booked match on the card of Payback: The Shield versus Evolution. The Shield won their first contest against Evolution, but this one is going to be a no-holds-barred elimination match. How hard is it going to be to eliminate a potato, a shovel, and a golem from a match? But the Hounds of Justice have done really well thus far against Evolution, and we'll have to see how that goes. Now pray for all those poor chairs that Roman Reigns tossed out of the arena like flour sacks. That's no way to treat office furniture, Reigns! Think of all the office furniture salesmen that you just caused to have heart attacks because of what you did. Anyway, while Roman Reigns is causing heart attacks to furniture salesmen, our next topic of discussion is, of course, the WWE Network. Or what a kind of bad idea it's been thus far. Yes, there's a lot of great programming on the WWE Network. No, I'm not a subscriber of the WWE Network, by the way. Thank you for asking. There's NXT programming, there's a lot of old pay-per-view events, and also you get, you know, the Raw pre- and post-shows on the WWE Network now, which is great if you want to watch Monday Night Raw. But there's a bit of a problem. More like a massive billion-dollar hole that they've gotten themselves into. You know all that surplus money that WWE had? Yeah, it's gone. Vamoose. It's disappeared like magic. Although it would kind of horrify me to know that Vince McMahon has finally started doing magic. Because that would be a horrifying experience. Think of all the children he would scar just by doing a rabbit out of his hat trick. Or, well, more specifically, botching the rabbit out of his hat trick. And accidentally summoning a demon from hell and accidentally devouring all the school children at the party. Whoops! Although, honestly, the WWE investors are calling for Vince McMahon's head because of the whole, you know, botched network thing. I have, you know, been very indifferent about the WWE Network. I thought it was a decent idea, but probably they should have waited an additional year. Maybe, like, done a soft opening and then, you know, release it out fully. Because what has happened is that Dish Network and DirecTV have pulled their support of WWE pay-per-view programming. So the backup plan that they had, in case the network didn't meet its expectations, has completely blown up. And also, Vince is now cutting the heads off of various different people who were involved with the WWE Network for not making enough money. They thought that they would reach 1 million subscribers. They haven't yet. It's going to take a long time for them to actually get to that mark. Because WWE is about wrestling, and it isn't like, say, you know, these pop stars or reality TV shows that people nowadays are so obsessed by, but who can easily get like 1 million followers in 10 seconds. This is about wrestling. You know, even if you think that wrestling right now, especially in the WWE camp, they think, oh, it's sports entertainment. General public is still just going to see it as wrestling. They're not going to think of it as sports entertainment or whatever the heck they're calling it. So it's going to be very hard to draw buys from non-wrestling fans unless they get into it. And I don't think that they really considered that when they did all their, all the surveys that they did before they launched the network. So now Vince is cutting heads off with a sword, which is pretty typical of Satan. Their champion is out with a neck injury, and they may have to give the title to somebody untested. Oh, by the way, did I mention the John Cena-Bray Wyatt feud? Yeah, that went over well. Bray has done completely well in every single segment that he's done. He's cut great promo after great promo after great promo after great promo. John Cena, however, is not holding up his end of the bargain. His promos have been horrendous, his acting is horrible, and he just keeps acting corny and stupid every single time that they need Bray Wyatt to be seen as a threat. John Cena brushes it off like, nah, man, he's just some psychotic hillbilly, hustle, loyalty, and respect, dudes. Peace sign. Yeah, that hasn't worked out really well. It's disappointing to me because John Cena, I know he can do better than that. And he's not doing that. This guy needs a massive push. He's a great heel. And he could be potentially a great babyface if whatever they decide to do with either the Shield or Evolution at this point. Because one of those two stables is breaking up at the end of Payback. It's most likely going to be Evolution, but I wouldn't count my chickens before they hatched. So, with the fallout of the network, Daniel Bryan's neck injury, the John Cena-Bray Wyatt program backfiring spectacularly, the only fortunate things that I have to really talk about is the excellent Paige-Alicia Fox feud, which is fantastic and you should see for yourself. Oh, by the way, they're also doing Payback in Chicago. Thought I mentioned that. The certain somebody named CM Punk lives in Chicago. I'm not sure if he's going to have any effect whatsoever on the pay-per-view at all. They may chant loudly for his name. I'm not sure exactly who the guy is, though. Wasn't he that straight-edge tattoo guy that ended up getting thrown out of the Rumble by Kane? Yeah, I think that might be him. I've kind of forgotten who this Punk guy is. So, yeah, there's that to worry about. And anyway, well, we'll see if WWE can get out of this hole that they've dug themselves into, or not. Anyway, this has been another editorial edition of Fizzy's Wacky World of Wrestling. I'm 14 Fitzpatrick. Have a good day, ladies and gentlemen, and I will see you next time.